So this is Drew Hunthausen, my friend. He's the no excuse blind guy. And this is his mom, Jan. And I'm just going to let him take over for right now, and then I will be back as soon as he's done.
All right, hello everybody. As Tamara said, I'm Drew Hunthausen, the no excuses blind guy. I want to thank Tamara and House for inviting me to speak here. It's definitely great, a little weird being back at my old high school. Graduated quite a while ago, but I guess you could say God is both awesome and terribly ironic. I'm back here. I never thought that I'd be back here speaking at my high school. And definitely other places, but not in my high school, to a church group. Pretty cool, though. I have to say that, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, Tamara or House, but I got to give them a suggestion. I think what would be pretty awesome, since we're out of high school, to maybe employ one of the cheer teams to come and worship with the worship band. I think that would be great. Give me a J, give me an E, give me a S, give me a U, give me an S. I don't know. I'm sorry for any cheerleaders or former cheerleaders in here. I didn't want to make anybody feel inferior, my cheerleading skills, but yeah. So back to what I'm talking about. That was awesome, Tamara, going through the John 6:16 and Matthew. Both versions are great, and what I get from both those are the importance of keeping our eyes on God, keeping our focus in the right place. And it's definitely, I know firsthand, I'm sure you guys can say you do too, but keeping our focus, it's so easy to get our focus off of God, of Jesus. Look at other things. But when we can keep our focus in the right place on God, we can figuratively walk on water as Jesus did. That's how powerful it is. It's really incredible. And I want to tell you some of my own story. Some of you have heard parts of it before. Some of you haven't. But to start from the beginning, it's 18 years ago in February. And just to take you back, on a Thursday, I was at baseball practice. My dad was our coach. On Friday, I had a fever, nothing major. I went to bed. My dad came home and check on me, just like a great parent, to make sure I was okay. Found me unresponsive. My parents rushed me to the hospital. Long story short, I went into a coma. The doctors, they did a spinal tap on me, and with the test to find out that I had bacterial meningitis. For those of you who know what that is, it's an infection in the meninges, or the membrane that surrounds the brain and the spinal cord. And as I said, I went into a coma. The doctors, about 10 days into my hospital stay, the doctors told my parents that I would most likely die. And if I didn't, I'd be a vegetable on a feeding tube for the rest of my life. Well, my friends, luckily, I hope I'm not a vegetable on a feeding tube. I'm here speaking to you, but I'm a miracle, just to show that when we keep our eyes on God, when we put our focus on the right place, anything is possible. And it wasn't with some consequences. From the meningitis, from my hospital stay, I lost all my eyesight, much of my hearing. I spent 7 long years in physical therapy just to be able to walk again. It definitely was not easy, but with God's help and the help of so many people, our churches, our congregation, and everything, as Tamara said, we can weather any storm. And I have to say, while I was in the hospital, in the coma for 3 months, I was so blessed. I was actually, I guess you could say, the 3 months, I took an extended nap, which because I don't remember anything of the 3 months I was in the coma, so that was pretty nice. But unfortunately, my parents, my family, media friends, they were not able to take that extended nap. And they definitely remember when I was in the coma, what had happened to me. I had people from our churches all over the area, people from my school, anybody that I can even think of, supporting my family, praying for me day and night. It was just incredible. The power of community is just, there's nothing that can beat that. But those 3 months went by quickly, and when I woke up from the coma, as you see on TV, a lot of times someone waking up from a coma, they jump out of bed and say, "Oh, Mom, Dad, what happened? What did I miss?" Well, I really wish it was that easy. I wish it was like that. But for me, coming out of a coma was like coming out of a deep fog. It actually took me a full month to actually realize what had happened to me. I was so, like I said, coming out of a fog, I was so delusional. When I first woke up, I didn't think anything had happened to me. I was visualizing, I was totally blind, but I was visualizing my bedroom. It was, I can't even imagine how scary it was for my parents and the nurses and doctors. They were trying really hard to gently tell me what had happened to me, that I was in a hospital. And I got angry. I wasn't in a hospital. That couldn't happen to me. I know it's hard for anybody. It's really, because I don't remember it, it's hard for me to comprehend that it actually happened. In a kind of a funny, lighter note, my dad was trying to convince me and tell me gently that I was in the hospital. I got so angry that I actually uttered a few four-letter words that I don't think I ever said in my life. They were kind of in my subconscious, but I never uttered them. I actually don't know where they came from. On a positive note, I got my dad to promise to pay. I told him, every time you mention the dreaded hospital, you owe me $10. I actually racked up a nice little sum of money when I came out of the hospital there. It was pretty good. But seriously, I was in physical therapy, and finally, when I was able to come home from the hospital, I still could not sit up on my own. I was still so weak. But as going back to when I was in the coma that I don't remember, we had people from all the churches around here, prayer vigils going on. Also, I had people from over 13 different countries from around the world praying for me. It's hard. These are people that I had never met, our family had never met, and we probably will never meet. And this was also before Facebook or Twitter or any of that social media stuff, if you can imagine, back in 1998, when none of that stuff was really around yet. But still, people from that far off. My dad is really inspires me. He has two stories that he tells me from when I was in the hospital. The first story is he has a friend. She's Jewish. And his friend told him this time when he went into a synagogue to pray for me. He was just getting down on his knees to start to pray for me when a gentleman in the pew in front of him got down and out loud started praying for me at the same time. This is someone that he didn't know. He had seen in church before, but he didn't even know. Totally the power of prayer, the Holy Spirit just working there. Someone that didn't even know me, didn't even know I existed, felt that he needed to get down and pray for me. Just incredible. I mean, hearing these stories. And then another story, when I was in the hospital, because I was in the intensive care unit where just only the sickest kids are, the sickest patients. And visiting hours ended earlier there, and my dad was on. It was his turn to be with me, and he was actually just getting ready to leave. It was about 11:30 at night. 3 women come in to the hospital. These are women from the Little League. Didn't really know me, didn't know my parents very well at all, but they had just met each other at the Little League field and decided that they needed to come and pray for me. So they came in the hospitals maybe 11:30 at night. And my dad said, "Oh, I'm not sure if we'll be allowed to let you in." So he went and asked the intensive care nurse. And luckily, fortunately, she was a Christian herself. And she said, "Sure, come on in, as long as you don't mind me coming in every now and then to adjust Drew's IVs and change his bedding. That would be totally fine." Those women were there for over 4 hours praying for me. And I don't believe it's any coincidence that right about that time, not long after that, is when I started coming around. My kidneys, I was about to go into kidney failure. They started working for themselves. My body started coming out of the coma, and I finally woke up. It was amazing. And like I said, coming out of that coma was not easy. And when I finally was strong enough to go home, that's not saying very much because I still was very, very weak. Couldn't even sit up, couldn't even do anything. I brought one of those hospital beds home that with a push of a button, move up and down, and that was my sole entertainment for the longest time. Exciting. And the frustrating thing, I had to, since I wasn't able to navigate stairs at all, I moved my bedroom downstairs, and for showers, I have to take showers outside. And I don't remember this very well, but I'm thinking just because of the difficulty it was for me to transfer in the wheelchair and all that stuff, I probably only took the showers in respect for my family. I'm not sure about that, though. But I had days, there were so many nights that I would fall asleep just crying, yelling out to God, just saying, "Lord, please heal me up. What am I supposed to do with my life now? What do I do? I'm totally blind. I'm hearing impaired. I can't even sit up by myself. What the heck am I supposed to do now? I had dreams before of being a professional baseball player, professional golfer. Definitely could not do that now. What do I do with my life?" Miraculously, the Lord, I would go to bed, and I cannot explain. I don't know how it happened, but I would wake up in the morning with a new sense of purpose, just a renewal. I had no clue where it came from. I still had no clue what I was going to do with my life. I just had some certainty that God had a plan for me. God had a purpose for me, that He wasn't done with me yet. There was a reason that I was still here, that I was still alive. And it's interesting. When I was, a couple years later, when I was in confirmation, and still My favorite verse to this day is Romans 8:28, and we know that God calls all things to work together for the good of those who love God and are called by him according to his purpose for them. It's his promise to us. Then when we can keep our eyes on him, keep our focus in the right direction, that things will work out for the good. And friends, things will work out for the good. It doesn't mean that bad things won't happen. We won't face challenges. Because I know firsthand, I'm sure you guys have all probably faced challenges of some sort in your lives. But it means that it's his promise that we keep our focus on him, and things in the end will work out. Also, one of the things that I have come to know is that the truth is that the hand we are dealt in life is never the one we envision for ourselves. But when we can keep our eyes on God, and by the grace of God, it is a hand that we can learn to play with love, hope, and happiness. It is. And as I said, we all are going to face sometime in our life obstacles, barriers that are going to keep us, hold us back, that are going to make us want to give up, that are going to make things difficult for us. But when we can figure a way to get through, to break through those barriers, overcome those obstacles, my friends, only the best is yet to come. I have a gift for you guys. It's the 5 keys to living a no excuses life, filled with joy, peace, and prosperity. And it's a website here. I think Tamara put it on the screen here, drewsinspirations.com. And I would love for all of you to go there, because I get my free guide. And also, when you sign up there, you will be able to follow my activities. And I have inspirational messages that I send out weekly, an inspirational blog that you will be able to get. And because I know that there's paper on the table from the announcements we've had earlier, I would love for you guys to maybe write your name and email down and put them in the blue buckets there. And I have a book that I have a chapter in. It's called Voyage to Your Vision. It's the book right here. And I have a chapter that I wrote in it. And if you put that card in to the blue bucket, I don't know, I probably won't be able to do it here now while you're here, but I will have a drawing, choose one person that I will give my book to. I would love to do that and be able to stay in touch with all of you guys. It would be great. Also, now I want to end or finish up with a prayer. But this is going to be a special kind of prayer because I've been talking this whole time, my testimony, how important it is to keep our eyes in the right place, to keep our eyes on Jesus. This might be a little bit of a coordination stretch for some of you guys, but I want everybody except for the moms to stand up, please. And then, as I said, it was going to be a coordination stretch because we need to keep our focus, keep our eyes on God. But right now, at least, if not more, for the length of the prayer that I'm going to say, I want you to also make that coordination stretch and put your eyes also on all the moms that are here. So keep your eyes on God and on the moms while I say my closing prayer. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity for House and Tamara having come speak to these amazing people who are gathered here at, ironically, my old high school. such a privilege. God truly has no boundaries. Lord, thank you so much for being in our lives. Please help us. Help us to keep our eyes on you. You are the light, and when we can keep our eyes on you, only the best is yet to come. We are all journeying blind in so many ways in this life, Lord. Without you, without your light, we will not be able to make it. Please bless all of us, especially the moms today, the amazing mothers here and everywhere in this world, Lord. They have given so much to us. Thank you for them. They are amazing. Please bless the days of everybody here. Let us go out into this world for the rest of this week, the rest of the year, the rest of our lives, and worship you, keep our eyes on you, and be the church. Thank you so much. In your precious name we pray. Amen.